my favorite time of the day. How are you, Richard?
I'm well. How are you? How was your weekend?
It was really good. How about yours?
It was lovely. Nice day on Saturday. Did a patio because we finally had some no rain in the afternoon, which was nice. So yeah, it was good.
I didn't have much to do with Pride this year because I was busy with other stuff, but I do have a very funny Pride story to tell you.
Go on.
I was driving my daughter home from visiting friends on Saturday night, 9 o'clock. Pulling up close to where I live, and my window is open, and there are 4 drag queens complaining that no one's going to stop and pick them up. And these are big, tall men,
right?
Dressed up, bearded, that's changed colors to pink, and they had to get to the ball for their big event. And so I said, "Hop in." And so they crammed into the back. All of these folks sort of crammed to the back, and I felt like I was helping out on a Cinderella. I was getting them to the ball.
That's amazing.
And then you got
to tweet a photo of that for us now.
You know what? They promised me they were going to take a photo. I didn't feel like kind of turning around, but I did find a hot pink beard hair in the back of my car. So that's my Pride memento.
That's an interesting weekend story. I like that. That's good.
I know, it was awesome. I heard lots about how one gets ready for a drag queen ball, but it was amazing.
You did your part to help out Pride.
I felt like I kind of saved the night for the ball. Yes, tell me about Tim Hortons. What's going on here? They're not getting along well with others.
Getting ugly. So, a couple of years ago, this big U.S. company came in and bought our little Tim Hortons. Not so little, but of course it was Canadian owned. So now it's owned by 3G Capital, and they're cutting costs left, right, and center. The franchise owners are not happy. A couple of months ago, we saw a group of Canadian franchise Timmy's owners band together. They're actually suing the head office. Then today, half of the U.S. franchises also forming a group to push for change. Like in Canada, the U.S. group says Restaurant Brands International is diverting ad funding to line its own coffers, is intimidating store owners, and is hiking costs for key ingredients, Avery, without allowing the franchise owners to increase costs. So a lot of bad blood going on here. Hasn't affected the stock so much, but those owners are not happy right now.
All right, the self-driving cars, I mean, it doesn't seem like a day goes by that we don't hear about them, but Google is teaming up with Avis on this.
Yeah, this is big, right? Because Google, they have this self-driving offshoot company called Waymo, and they're actively experimenting with how to make self-driving cars work. And now they're teaming up with Avis. And what Avis is going to provide them is, service for the cars. They're going to change the tires, provide them a place to park the cars. And Avis has 11,000 locations worldwide. So that's big. It means Google doesn't have to build that infrastructure. As a result, today we saw Avis stock shooting up more than 14%. Even Hertz, its main competitor, seeing its stock gain 13% on this news, Avery.
All right, you know how there are certain things that make you feel old?
Yes.
Well, maybe not you as much as me.
No, yes. Sure.
Okay, I cannot believe that Harry Potter's been around for 20 years.
I know, eh? Isn't that crazy?
Then I realized my son is 21. I remember sitting there and reading it to him as he was a little guy. So, I mean, it's not surprising, but that's a long time ago.
Yeah, a lot of kids grew up with it, and then the parents fell in love too, right? And I think that was the secret to the success of Harry Potter.
And it keeps on going. I mean, this is a license to print money, this Harry Potter franchise.
Sure is. So let's take a look. Harry Potter by the numbers, the first book coming out 20 years ago today. There have been 7 books in total, selling 450 million copies, making $7.7 billion.
Wow.
It's been translated into 79 languages. 8 movies have been made, netting $7.2 billion. There are now 6 tourist attractions for Harry Potter globally, including, a couple at Disney. There's going to be a Broadway play next spring, and of course, it's all May. J.K. Rowling, very wealthy. She has a net worth of about $1.2 billion, Avery.
Okay, but when you think of how much the books brought in and what her value is, I mean, she didn't get as much as, obviously.
True, but I like the story because it's a lesson in perseverance. She could not get that first book published. Everyone said no to her, and she kept at it, so I like that.
It's a really good reminder that there's always something around the corner.
Yep.
All right, so listen, for young people who are struggling with their finances, that always feels like a long way around the corner. But the big problem is that they're spending a lot on little minor expenses.
Specifically food, and I'm so guilty of this too, and I'm in that sort of millennial cohort group. And so look at this new report out today from Bankrate, and it found the average millennial, anyone up to the age of like 34, 35, they go to a restaurant or get takeout 5 times a week.
Yeah,
so that's
you can be older than that and still do that, I just want to say.
Sure, we're all guilty of that, I think, now, and it really hurts the budget. 30% buy a coffee at least 3 times per week.
That seems low.
I know, it's 5 days a week for me.
Yeah, for sure.
24% of total earnings for millennials going to food. right now. That's huge. The average spent on lunch, about $53 a week. You add that up, it's more than $2,700 over the course of a year. And a lot of millennials like doing the takeout now. Internet orders for restaurant food surging 18% over last year. So if you can keep the food money in check, I think your overall budget will look a little bit better. Ava.
And your waistline as well.
That too, yes.
All right, so in honor of Canada's birthday, KFC is legally changing its name. Who couldn't capitalize off something? KFC has found a way to do it. Explain this one to me.
Yeah, they're smart over there at KFC, all right. So they have legally changed their name to KFC. They're putting a little EH after the K, so paying homage to the A that we Canadians like to say.
Oh,
A.
Lord.
So a number of the stores actually being rebranded. We're looking at them putting on the new KAFC there. It opened its first Canadian restaurant back in 1955, only 3 years after Colonel Harlan Sanders founded the chain back in Kentucky, Avery.
Because nothing says Canada like Kentucky and chicken.
Yeah, well, you know, every corporation jumping on the Canada 150 bandwagon.
You kind of can't blame them. Richard, thank you so much.
Thanks. Have a good one.